the battle for top 4. Are we drawing Spurs into that as well? Kane out for a month, Son away at the Asian Games. The squad looking a little bit threadbare. They've got more points in the bank, but suddenly it's getting very tight, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it'll be very interesting to see. You know, you've heard that Pochettino might play Ali there as a false 9. It's not ideal for them, is it? You know, we know how big of an influence he is on that Tottenham side, Harry Kane, but who knows how they'll react to it, and if they have a bit of a stumble, and Arsenal and Chelsea and Man United are in form, then it could get very interesting at the top of the table there.
It's been a frustrating season in some ways. We've had that 22 unbeaten run. Then we've had stumbles at Christmas, 1 or 2 murmurings with the supporters, not necessarily at the manager. Unai Emery's changed things around almost on a weekly basis. Do you sense, though, that the players are starting to trust in what he does? We've seen another slight tweak of the formation today with 2 up top and, of course, Ramsey in behind. Are the players buying into it? Are the fans starting to buy into it if they weren't before?
I mean, to be honest, it's hard to say, isn't it? Obviously, the mood is great after a 2-0 win against Chelsea. The mood was pretty terrible last week against West Ham. I think it's a season of transition, as Adrian was pointing out. You know, you're going to get good results, you're going to get bad results. I think we've got to judge Unai Emery and what he's doing probably this time next year, don't we? You know, we'll have a much better idea of the way that we're going to line up. But, you know, I think there are encouraging signs. There's also some concerning signs. But, you know, when you get a 2-0 win like this against Chelsea, you can only be encouraged. I think you've got to be optimistic.
Celebratory mood certainly here in the press box as far as Arsenal fans are concerned. Certainly it's going to be a good Saturday night with a London derby win over the Blues, courtesy of goals from Lacazette and from Koscielny in the first half. The defence stood firm with that clean sheet as well. Much to discuss and analyse as we hand you back to the Arsenal Nation studio. Full time here. It's finished Arsenal 2, Chelsea 0.
At the Emirates Stadium.
Thanks very much, guys. Yeah, convincing result for Arsenal. 2-0 against Chelsea, London rivals here at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal Nation live studio with me, Nick Bright. Tim Z is still with me. Adrian Clark has made it down from the commentary box as well. What did you guys make of the performance, first and foremost, on the whole? We'll start with Tim Z, because Adrian's not
I've
long...
been talking all day.
It's not long, innit? Give him a bit of a rest.
No, I'm absolutely over the moon with that. I think, you know, before the game, we weren't overly confident, but that's as good a result I think we could have all hoped for. We were solid for pretty much the whole 90 minutes. We weathered the storms a bit after both of the goals. They had a few, you know, 5-10 minute spells where they looked dangerous, but apart from that, second half we weren't troubled too much, and I think we kept that same that effort and the pressing and in general just that stability that we had in the first half throughout the second half, and it was. Yeah, really, really good performance from us. Really happy.
Yeah, and you were watching it out in the press box. What was it like from where you were sat?
Well, it's fantastic. Yeah, it was a game of 2 halves, really. I thought in the first half, the way that we pressed them, won the ball high up the pitch, got our forward players into the game, the energy was great, and we gave them nightmares, didn't we? Chelsea's defence was all over the shop. Brilliant to see. I thought 2 goals was a bit unlucky, really. We could have had 3 or 4. Second half, it changed, and I think the dynamic, we retreated. We thought, we don't need to pressure anymore. We'll just drop off. And what really impressed me in the second half was Koscielny and Sokratis holding firm at centre-half, and those guys in front of them as well being very disciplined with their jobs. We saw all sides of Arsenal's game today come together, and it was incredibly professional. I loved it.
And guys, we got a clean sheet. Come on.
Finally.
We got a clean sheet. Look, here's the memes here. Rolling clean sheet cooking. I can smell it. Hello to Dan Tyler as well, saying, I can't believe what I'm watching. If Arsenal keep a clean sheet, 1 round on me for everyone in this bar. God, I hope it was an empty bar.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. But how good is it to get a clean sheet, Timsy?
Oh yeah, it's you know, we haven't had many of them this season, and to get one of them, especially against Chelsea, you know, they're not a massively free scoring team. You know, their strikers aren't massively informed, but still to keep a clean sheet against Chelsea, get 3 points closer to them, and it will just give, you know, Leno, he's not been unbelievable, but that will really give him a lot of confidence, and especially Koscielny coming back to full fitness now. Yeah. Sokratis as well. They look really comfortable together. Whether that's going to be a thing we see in the next few weeks or months, we'll see. But it's great for everyone. I'm sure they'll all be buzzing.
Didn't have a lot to do, did he, Leno? I thought just the 1 shot on target, of course. But he gave confidence whenever the ball came near him. He cleared his lines well. Did he? Got his hands on crosses and stuff. So yeah, what clean sheet mentality. We hear it a lot in football, and I don't think Arsenal really had a clean sheet mentality have they in recent times. Maybe now is a good time to start. If we play like this, moving forwards, we can go on another one of those long streaks, but we've got some really tough fixtures, of course, coming up. What it will do ahead of this run of games with United in the Cup, I think we've got City and Spurs not too far away, it'll give us the belief that we can beat anyone, because Chelsea are a top team. And we won it pretty easy. Let's be honest.
It was a convincing victory. And Timsy, you touched on the defence there. One man you mentioned, of course, Captain Fantastic, Koscielny. Up to Joe here. Laurent Koscielny has scored in each of his 9 seasons in the Premier League. And in the first Arsenal defender to net 20 goals in the competition. 20 goals. Wow. Matt here saying Koscielny absolutely phenomenal today. How could people doubt him getting back to his best? Easily our most consistent central defender. Had a good game today, didn't he, Adrian?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think we've seen his best, if I'm being brutally honest. That's only because of his age. He's well into his 30s now, but we can get through to the end of the season with him, and he made a massive step forward today, didn't he? Massive. I don't think he's convinced too many of us in recent weeks with his performance. He looked a bit rusty, but today was like the Koscielny of old. Really, really brave, got himself into great positions. And I thought the balance of the partnership with Sokratis was great. I like Koscielny on the left. Well, that's his position. Sokratis looks better on the right. So when Rob Holding comes back, he'll have a fight on to get back into the team, won't he?
I think that's actually a good partnership. The way that, you know, we had quite a successful partnership for a few seasons with Mertesacker and Koscielny. And Koscielny was the quick one, get us out of trouble, and Mertesacker was the one who read the game. I think now that Koscielny is probably like learning how to defend with as his body ages, a little bit less pace. Sokratis is rapid. So I think their sort of roles have changed from the old ones to now Koscielny is taking that Mertesacker figure of being the one who judges and scans. Absolutely. And Sokratis is being the one who comes back in.
And Dan made a good point in commentary about Sokratis' leadership qualities. You watch him when you're out there, he's always pointing and shouting, pulling people into position.
Celebrating tackles.
Come on! You love that. I mean, a bit overboard, but I like the style, and you need someone like that. For me, he's a must-pick, Sokratis. He has to play.
Well, that's the good. In defence, we have to focus a little bit on the bad as well, and we have to talk about Hector Bellerin. Hello to Igor saying, hopefully it's nothing bad for Bellerin. Really feel bad for him, not going to lie, get well soon. Another one here saying Bellerin going off injured is a huge blow, being one of the better players under Emery. Listen, we can't speculate as to what the injury is, so we can't, write him off for the season or anything like that, but it did look a bit serious for Bellerin out there, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, look, I've not had a cruciate ligament injury myself, but often they happen, don't they, innocuously, where you just twist your knee in the grass and there was no contact.
No, that's the worry,
and
isn't it?
You just think straight away he was in pain. Yeah, my initial reaction is that I fear the worst and that that's season over, season done. Hope I'm wrong. If it is season done, what do Arsenal do? We've heard about the loan, not being able to buy players. I would be scouring the market for somebody to play at right back. Somebody in the Bellerin style. Attack-minded, because Lichtstein is decent, Maitland-Niles is decent, but I don't think they offer the same as Bellerin. So maybe we need to change tact here and think, instead of that guy, maybe we go for this guy at right back instead. So it'd be fascinating to see how the club react.
Well, the fans have been getting in touch and having their say actually about Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who came on initially not to replace Bellerin, but that's kind of what happened. Sim here actually gutted for Maitland-Niles. Looked like he was finally going to be played in a more central midfield role, assuming taking Ramsey's role. And then within a minute, Bellerin gets injured, so he'll have to cover. Really feel for him.
He did okay though.
When
he came on, he was nice and steady.
I
mean, Carl Jenkinson's eyes might light up. I mean, he's been used in the cup, and I think he did pretty well in the cup games, Jenkinson. So big decisions to make, but absolutely gutted for Hector.
I think today showed as well. He's obviously just sort of come back into full training for a week or two. And he showed how important he is today. He was bombing forward, a really good outlet. He plays so well. On that right side, and it might be a case of assist for the goal. And I think it probably is a case of we need someone to come in January and not maybe have someone central or whatever who can fill in there. You want a proper right back playing in that position, and even if we go out and we can get someone very good, like we can. If Bellerin is out for the season, he's young enough, he's fit enough, and he's talented and good enough to be able to come back and easily claim back that spot. So I think we should try.
For me, it's needs must. And Arsenal have now got themselves into a position where you can smell the Champions League spot now. With a bit of speculation in terms of spending money, if we have to, I'd like to see it happen.
Yeah.
Because we bring in a right back now, for now.
Yeah.
Maybe bring in a centre-back cover, a winger. It might be enough to see us through. If we don't do anything, then we're going to have to muddle on through, and that's not ideal. I don't want to tell Arsenal who to go for. There's a right back at Norwich that I've seen us link with, Max Aarons. Terrific player.
Yeah.
Somebody like that is who I think we should be targeting in the coming days.
Yeah.
Well, let's gauge the mood out there on Facebook and on YouTube, where we're streaming as always. Lots of you commenting and getting involved. Hello to Jackie, saying fingers crossed Hector is okay, made a big difference in the game. Stephen, man of the match, Koscielny. Also, we've got David, who's saying, nice one, guys, kudos to our back line today. Yeah, all of them. Sven saying a well-played game where we defended resolutely and took our chances. These guys on YouTube, Mr. Reese123, saying that was a glorious game. Love you, Arsenal. And need TLC saying, love how people were saying Chelsea to win before the game started. LOL, football is anyone's game on their day. Great win for Arsenal. And PFX saying Lolo and Papa is the new Laka and Orba. What have you got to say about that, guys?
I mean, they did look great. They look like they've been playing together for a while for this season. So yeah, it's great. They look comfortable together. They seem to complement each other. And I guess, yeah, that is where we're gonna build our team from.
I think tactically we need to look at this in the big games and say, let's just back ourselves.
Yeah,
to soak it up.
Especially at home.
Yeah, no, but we all want to see Arsenal on the front foot, scoring goals, pressing. But sometimes you just have to get men behind the ball and say, come on then.
Soak it in and then, yeah.
Today was a perfect example. Maybe this is the way we need to approach games. Win it in the first half, go out on the front foot, take the fight to teams, get our noses in front and then say, all right, come and break us down. Because I think that our defenders are better when they have to face a bit of an onslaught, if you know what I mean, rather than when they're sometimes left short-handed to counter-attack.
Yeah, and it's also, especially I think everyone knows, I think all Arsenal fans know, we've been particularly susceptible to on the break. When it's an open game, you know, against Liverpool, we scored straight away, but we could just tell there was so much space and it was loose everywhere. And I think that doesn't play into our hands. I think if we get the early goal, or we kind of make sure we're solid for the first half, and then we just sit back, because we've got plenty of pace, and especially with Lacazette and Aubameyang, they're going to get chances and they're going to score because they're so good in front of goal. I think, I agree. That should be the way we face these games from now on.
Well, a 2-0 win, a clean sheet. But these Arsenal fans, us Arsenal fans, we're not easily pleased because something happened in the stadium which upset the fans. Emery just loves to sub Lacazette, doesn't he? Angry face from Show there. Frank as well. Why do we always sub Lacazette? He is a born poacher. It's hard to moan, isn't it? Let's be honest. You know, 2-0 win, clean sheet, against Chelsea, who are a top 6 side. We're battling for those Champions League places with Chelsea. It's a minute thing to pick up on, isn't it?
Yeah, I think maybe in games when we're either chasing it or it's sort of in the balance, it is a little bit frustrating. I'll admit I get frustrated as well when he comes on, because in the same way that when we're either training games and Unai likes to make those early subs, even at half-time or 55, 60 minutes, it's great to see, because then there might be a change of pace and then you get back into the game. But yeah, in this case, it's sort of the opposite. You want to see them stay out there and grab a goal and keep going. But, you know, you can't complain in this case, but maybe in other cases.
He ran his legs off today, and I thought he was absolutely superb. It could have been him, it could have been Aubameyang, who was equally good. So, yeah, I felt sorry for him.
And I think it's fair to say as well that Aubameyang, because some people say, you know, Laka offers us a little bit more in terms of, you know, up front being able to hold up the ball. But Aubameyang ran his legs out, chasing back, making tackles.
Makes an awful lot of sprints. I think tactically it's the right thing to do. With the way that Chelsea were coming at Arsenal, I think sacrificing a striker was probably the right decision. It could have been either of them. It wasn't popular. I could hear the boos through my headphones. But look, I think Lacazette is mature enough to know it's just a tactical decision. He will feel proud of the way he played today. Particularly, he's got what a goal! What a goal! Really I love that first touch. I'm sure you talked about it at half time. The first touch, the way he beat his man, and then the way he lashed it in at the near post, different
I
gravy.
love seeing them going powerfully like that
Yeah.
as well. A big question that's being asked on social media actually is this one here. Mason saying, Arsenal's strategy against big teams is so clear. We press and suffocate our opponents at every opportunity, but then we play against Brighton, West Ham and Southampton and we sit deeper and give them respect. I just don't understand the logic. Ex-professional here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to you, Adrian.
Well, yeah, I don't get it. I think sometimes we almost like warm into those games. It's like the tempo isn't right. It's got to change. I think if we tore into Southampton, Brighton, West Ham, any of those sides the way we did today, probably wouldn't score 2 goals, we'd score 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So it is a mentality thing. But as I discussed in commentary, it's a team in transition.
Yeah.
A lot of changes are taking place, and not everything's going to be right straight away. I don't even think the manager knows his best team yet, and we're quite a long way into the season. So we just got to be patient. But they know. It's just it's as frustrating for them as it is for us, I'm sure. But today's Liverpool, Spurs, today, that's the standard that we need to aspire to every game.
Yeah.
And if we play like that every game, we won't just be in the top 4. We'll absolutely cruise our way to the top 4.
Yeah,
We'll be closer to the title chase than the race for the top 4.
Even now?
No. If we replicated the standards today,
Next season,
week in, week out, we'd be title contenders. So it's there for them, but you can't expect it to happen overnight.
Also, the squad at the moment, it's not the biggest squad, and I think we know roughly the 13 or 14 that are frequently rotated, and that is sort of our strongest match day squad. But as we said, we're holding out injured, Bellerin, hopefully not for too long, but he might be out long term. And as soon as that sort of happens, then it starts to get a bit difficult to consistently put in these performances when you need your best players out there. Bellerin today played really well. Holding's been brilliant for us for pretty much the whole season. So yeah, you do suffer, but can't complain today.
Yeah, we still need beefing up at the back. We still need better defenders on board. But the guys who played today proved they've got what it takes. They can hold the best.
I mean, Ozil didn't even play.
No,
That's the thing. We still got Ozil, and he was on the bench. He might have come on if Bellerin didn't get injured, but he wasn't playing. He's arguably our best creator. So imagine, if he did play, might have scored even more.
Well, a lot of Arsenal players out there rightfully getting a lot of love, but there was one player who was out there who got the most love. I'm sure you all know who I'm talking about. Olivier Giroud, of course. 7 a.m. kickoff. Giroud claps the Arsenal supporters and the fans start singing his name. Danny Welbeck, that's at Welbeast, not the Danny Welbeck, saying cheeky Giroud smile on the bench when Koscielny scored. You can take Giroud out of Arsenal, but you can't take Arsenal out of Giroud. Another one here for you. It's funny seeing him without the beard there, saying Giroud, the only player in world football that both set of fans sing his name.
he got a great reception.
Last but not least, we've got one here. Can someone make this end with Giroud sprinting into a wrestling ring and then hitting a Chelsea player with a chair and then putting an Arsenal shirt on as the crowd sings na 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 na? I'm sure there is probably some kind of, I don't know, Photoshop whiz out there that can definitely do that.
Of course they will.
It was nice to see Ollie getting a good reception.
Oh, it was great reception, wasn't it? Just when he was warming up, he was getting. It's awkward for him because he's a Chelsea man. He doesn't want to go over the top. But you can see at the final whistle when I was looking on the monitor, he was going round. You can see it meant a lot to him.
Yeah.
We asked the question before kick-off: is he a blue? Is he a red? Professionally, he has to be a blue. But in his heart, he's an Arsenal man.
And me and you, Timsy, we actually walked right past him as he was coming out the Chelsea dressing room, and it was like, oh.
It was a little bit weird, wasn't it? It's like wearing the Chelsea kit and stuff. But no, he's especially the way he played for this club and the way he endeared himself to the fans and gave everything. Like he never put a foot out of line.
He got the maximum out of his ability, didn't he?
Exactly,
like,
and we all appreciate that. Maybe he wasn't as naturally talented in front of goal as Aubameyang or whoever, but it's the fact
fans
that
screamed for years. We want an upgrade on Giroud. We're not going to win the title with Giroud as our frontline striker. But when he's gone, you think, miss him. He was a really good player for us. He was a big game player, scorer of great goals,
scorpion kick.
And that he only left because he needed to play at the World Cup finals, and boy did that pay off for him. World Cup winners' medal. So it was a sort of a win-win for him. But his heart's at Arsenal, no doubt.
Right, well, before we go, guys, as always, we need to get the one-word sign-off from you both. I'm going to go to you first, Timsy.
Encouraging.
Encouraging.
Yeah, I'm gonna go stronger than that. I thought it was a magnificent team display.
Magnificent and encouraging. There you go. Right, Timsy, Adrian, thank you very much for coming on Arsenal Nation Live. I'm sure you'll both be back here very soon, as will we on Friday for the FA Cup clash against Manchester United. Join us then. Come on, you Gooners. Take care.